Well, thank you, Saurabh, for the introduction, and thank you all for attending. This is Ayush. Ayush, you want to say something about it?
Hey guys, thank you so much for having us here. My name is Ayush. I work as a solution engineer in a chatbot platform provider called Kore.ai.
Thank you. Thank you. And as mentioned by Saurabh, I'm Anand. I'm working with Ranasys. I'm based out of London. And we have been working really hard to put on this show for you. Hope you guys like it. So let me start by saying that our ability to think and our ability to discuss and exchange our ideas is essentially fundamental to the growth of our species as a human. We were able to communicate ideas, we were able to discuss ideas, and that's the reason why we could progress so much. We realized this, and so we made machines. And machines were a great addition to what we were doing. They made it very effective, they made it very efficient in what we were doing. And then we thought, what if we could teach machines how to think? And this concept is not new. We have been trying it for a long time. So Alan Turing in 1950 wrote about it for the very first time, about the artificial intelligence, about the ability for machines to interact with other machines or humans in such a way that it becomes indistinguishable by other people to identify whether it's a machine or a human. That was the basic of chatbots as we see today. And chatbots are not new either. So the first chatbot was created way back in 1966, and it was called Eliza. And the whole idea of creating Eliza was to ensure that when a human is talking to Eliza, and if somebody else is looking at Eliza, it would become very difficult to identify whether Eliza is a human or not, or whether human is Eliza or not. And that is essentially the Alan Turing test. If we can design a system in such a way that it makes it very difficult to distinguish a machine from a human, then that means that there is a basic level of artificial intelligence or ability to understand human natural language as we speak as an intelligent machine. Now, typically, what do we mean by chatbots? What are the kind of things that chatbots can do? Now, chatbots have been used in many different domains. So let's see some of the things that are possible by chatbots. So chatbots can talk to system and people and things. They can also converse via user interface. It can allow people to click, drag, scroll, whatever, or people can interact with it by just typing or by just using voice command. The beauty of these chatbots is that they have ability to understand natural languages. So the language that we use naturally as a way to communicate between different humans, a chatbot can understand pretty much same kind of language with the same kind of efficiency. It can also remember context of the user. So for example, if a user is talking to a customer service agent, it will understand what are the domain of that particular user, what kind of order history that user may have, what kind of operation the user was trying to do. It can build a mind map of what that user might want to do, and based on that, it can respond and help that customer achieve whatever they want to achieve. It can also identify users' emotion. It cannot see their faces, but as we know, our language would reflect what we are feeling, and so it can identify the emotion of the user, and based on that, it can respond accordingly. And the best thing is that it is intelligent. So it is not static in nature. So as we are interacting with the chatbot, it can understand and improve itself. It can continue to evolve and continue to get better and smarter in what it is doing. And it can work across multiple channels. Unlike human, it is not impacted by multitasking. A chatbot can handle multiple interactions at the same time on multiple channels. And the final thing is that chatbot can interact when needed. It can interact with the users on a real-time basis, or it can interact with the users on a scheduled time. So why bots are becoming relevant? Well, bots are becoming relevant because as a human species, we are never satisfied with what we have. We continue to innovate, we continue to evolve. So in 1950s, we saw that we had mainframes. Then we moved forward and we started working on the client server. We again moved and we created web as a dominant platform. We moved to the mobile, and now we have gone to the conversational AI bots. What will come in future? Nobody knows. But we know that right now, the main thing is that people are getting tired of using mobile apps. And it's a fact. It's a fact because if you see, on an average, people have around 119 applications on our platform, on our mobile apps. Now, who would have time to remember where those 119 applications are? How would they know that which application they downloaded? Most of the applications are downloaded, used probably rarely when they are downloaded, and then they are forgotten. An employee, a typical employee, uses more than 30 applications at work. So people are getting tired of these applications. App fatigue is a real thing, and solutions like conversational AI bots makes it very easy for people to continue to do what they're doing, probably in a much better way, and help users in achieve their goals. According to the Gartner, 20% of the big brands will eventually abandon their mobile application because there is a big friction. Not many people would be comfortable in downloading a piece of software on their mobile phone because mobile phone is a very personal device for many people. And unless there is a big trust and big utility, people would refrain from downloading a mobile application. On top of that, 30% of web browsing session, which is basically any HTTP request that you are sending over the network, would be done without any browser. So you might think, if there is no web browser, where these requests are going? Well, these requests are going in many different mediums. It could be on your messaging platform, it could be from the devices that you are using, it could be anything but the browser. So the interaction, as we see, is changing completely. We already know that we had mobile first as a meme. We have been following mobile first for a long time now, but the concept of mobile first is now numbered. There is eventually going to be a time wherein conversational AI first will be the norm instead of mobile first. So let's just talk about e-commerce because that's why we are gathered here. Most of us are working within the Magento domain and e-commerce is our primary forte. So let's discuss why chatbots are important or relevant within the region of e-commerce. So irrespective of what kind of platform you have, irrespective of what you are selling and to whom you are selling, there are some basic components of e-commerce. And the first and foremost is the sourcing and the managing of the inventory. Whatever you are selling, you do need to make sure that you are sourcing it from somewhere, you are managing inventory in the best possible way. And after you have your inventory in place, you need to create an e-commerce site wherein you can sell it. So the second aspect of any e-commerce value chain is your e-commerce site. On top of that, you need your customization, recommendation, things like your payment integration. You do need to take care of the shipping, tracking, and delivery. And finally, once an item or a product is sold, you need to think about the customer service. So whether you are selling a sports good or fashion or electronic goods, you do need to take care of all of these things. And the bots can potentially help in all of these areas. Bots can help people get started. They can help people in searching the product. They can also understand the context of the user and offer them personalized recommendation of what they might be looking for. It can make it very easy for people to browse for the product. So instead of going in a hierarchy or category-wise fashion, people can use their natural language and say that, hey, I'm looking for a black jacket, and it would give them black jacket. It can make it very easy to browse, and instead of going through the complete checkout process, we have already seen the innovation happening with the Apple Pay and Google Pay. It can be an extension of that, and people can just say that, hey, I want to buy a black jacket, and things like Alexa or Siri can complete the purchase on behalf of a user. Similarly, service and support is something that is very mundane in nature, which is very repetitive and commonplace in any e-commerce. And these kind of things can be easily automated with bots. So let's quickly have a look at a demo that has been built on top of the Koreai platform. Okay. So what we have created is that we have created a sample store, and now this store is created on Magento, and on top of Magento we have used Koreai platform to build this chat interface that makes it very easy for people to interact with this store using Magento APIs and complete the purchase journey. So Ayush, maybe we can show the browser, please. So I'm going to request my colleague Ayush to help me with the demo. He's going to drive the demo. So this is a Magento-based site. We have specifically used Luma to kind of create the link between Magento. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with this theme. So the face of the woman that you see here is essentially a chatbot, and you can see that Ayush is currently using human language to talk with this chatbot, and this chatbot is processing this natural language. It's understanding what a user is trying to do, and based on that, it is delivering the relevant results. So in this case, Ayush, who is pretending to be John, is looking for some sort of products in men category. So let's go for black jackets. And as you can see, in terms of interaction, he could scroll and he could browse the products that were there to offer. And based on the information that Ayush is giving, the chatbot is asking for relevant information. So once you have specified you're looking for black jacket, it is asking for size. I normally wear short, so let's say short. And as you can see that based on the information that user has given, within the chatbot interface, we have now all the products that are available from this shop. Thank you, and I'm hoping that Ayush will pay for this. So we are going to add to cart, quantity. So this is one example, but the possibilities are limitless. Right now we are interacting with the text, but you could very well interact with Alexa or Siri, and the chatbot could still power all the interaction. We are going to proceed to checkout. And the beauty of this Koreai platform is that because it has been kind of trained for e-commerce, so many of the use cases that you would typically see for e-commerce are already built in. So if you were to implement this in your platform, it would be most of the things you would probably get it out of the box. Now you can see that the bot is intelligent enough to identify which part of addresses are given in the address and what parts are missing. And based on that, it is asking relevant question. So if you recall, initially there wasn't any country or the postcode, so it could identify what is missing, and based on that, it asked for the relevant questions. Okay, so this is a completely natural way of interaction now, because the millennial is old now. The new generation is more comfortable in using messaging as a platform. They are more comfortable in doing WhatsApp or Facebook or WeChat or any such platform. Okay, great. And as you can see that within a span of probably 40 seconds to 1 minute or 2 minutes, we were able to complete a purchase in a very different way, in a very different mechanism of interaction with the system. Okay. So this is the demo, but this is not just the demo. Things are happening, people are implementing. So probably we can just go to the next slide. So people are implementing. We are going to show some quick. Is it not happening?
No, it's in your control.
Okay.
You can
so
just click on that. Let's use this.
Sorry, the difficult part of the demos are done without any glitches, and the easy part of just switching the presentation slide, that created some problem. Okay, but as you can see, there is Staple, which is a big brand in the UK. they are utilizing bot platform to complete their customer recommendation and the buying process. On the same lines, another platform called H&M, which is a huge clothing brand, is giving creating the complete style for a specific customer based on what kind of clothes that they want to wear, what kind of style that they want to go with. So there are many benefits in terms of implementing the bots. There is a direct impact on the bottom line. On one side of the spectrum, it can reduce the cost by ensuring that all your customer support queries and all those kind of operations are handled by the bots, and you realize the benefits of optimization and efficiencies. And on top of that, you can also improve the customer behavior, customer interaction by utilizing the power of the bot to make sure that they stick to the platform. Cool. So at this stage, I will hand it over to Ayush, who would give information on the Kore as a platform and what they have been doing with Kore. Over to you, Ayush.
Thanks, Anand. So guys, chatbots are pretty much having a direct analogy with the direct retail stores. I can go into a retail store and tell the guy I'm looking for a black jacket, and that's the same thing you're going to do over here. You could actually go to any of these channels, be it Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Line, WeChat, SMS, emails, and just send a message to a dedicated number. I'm looking for a black jacket. That's it. The platform will understand what the user is saying, will find out its intent, any variables which is providing, black jacket being the variable over here. It will understand all those things and then actually go to the Magento system, fetch those records and show that to the user. Now the technology behind it is basically natural language processing. What we do is provide a platform which helps you and your enterprises create these chatbots in a very quick, configuration-driven way, where you don't really need technical expertise to deploy these chatbots. We are a company which has been over 4 years into existence now. We are an Orlando-based company. Our headquarters are in Orlando. We have around 200 plus engineers working around the clock into R&D. Around 20 of them are also in support services. We already have multiple partnerships with ISVs around the world, as well as OEM partnerships with many companies around the domain. Now, what we bring to the table is an enterprise grade chatbot platform, where you don't really need to get out of the platform to go to any third party to do anything concerning chatbots. Like I said, an enterprise-grade AI-rich conversational platform. It's also available on-prem to protect your data. We have a proprietary NLP speech, learning, messaging, and integration middleware. The NLP engine is having an accuracy score around 10% more than other natural language engines. But at the end of the day, they're just engines. They don't really give you the framework to create the complete chatbots around it, which we do. Now, looking at the same use case, the user could come in from any of the channels on the left side. It could be your social messengers like Facebook, Twitter, Skype, SMS. It could be email. It could be Line, WeChat, WhatsApp, any of these channels. So the whole point of having the user download an app goes away, because now the customer can come and interact with you and your business from any of the channels which he prefers. We also support voice assistants like Cortana, Alexa, and Google Assistant. The same thing can also be made available on your IVR, meaning now the customer need not to basically come on the phones and type the numbers again. He can actually pick up the phone, have the chatbot ask what he wants to do, and just talk in his natural language. I'm looking for black t-shirts, or what's the status of my order? And the chatbot will actually understand that over the IVR itself and respond back. We also support the integrations with most of the backend systems in the market, Magento being one of them. Actually, the chatbot, which you just saw, is actually integrating with Magento, like he said. But what happens in case the chatbot is not able to understand what the user is saying? In that case, you can actually have one of your agents come in and give an actual help out to the end user without the user going away from his preferred channel of use. So he could be on WhatsApp and he's having a problem. He's not able to express himself, or the chatbot is not able to understand what he's saying. In that case, you can actually have an agent come over. The agent continues to use the tools which he uses: ServiceNow, LiveDesk, LiveWorld, LiveChat, Zendesk, VivoChat, etc. The end user continues to use WhatsApp, and there is a seamless takeover from the chatbot to the agent. So we are now providing customer support through all of these channels via the agent itself. So you could actually take care of all of these use cases which you have not yet implemented, or which you don't want to implement via the chatbots for whatever reasons, and have the agents help out in those cases as well. Now, in order to basically help you get started, Ranosys and Core have come together and created an e-commerce chatbot, which can work as out-of-the-box chatbot for your company. It can also work as a starter pack, where you can actually use this and build your chatbots on top of these. So you don't really have to, basically start from scratch at any point of time. These are the use cases which are available today. You can actually have product search, order and tracking, store locator, offer discounts, feedbacks, frequently asked questions, customer service, and inventory tracking, all of them being taken care by the chatbot platform and the chats and the chatbot itself. Any questions?
Does it support multiple languages?
Oh yes, actually you can develop the bot in one language. You can deploy it to multiple channels, and you can actually enable multiple languages. Today we support around 8 languages, which include English, Spanish, French, German, traditional and simplified Chinese, Portuguese, and Italian. We are having an exhaustive language roadmap where we're going to add languages like Malay, Thai, and a couple of other variants of this region.
Do you offer developers to customize on top of the core development module you have?
Definitely. So we basically provide a builder tool using which the business folks can come in and design the complete user journeys. The developers can then come in and integrate with the backend systems. That's the typical model which we go through. And yes, we are pretty flexible in providing developers the capabilities which they need. They can actually use JavaScript to write the complete logic in the platform itself. In case they want to use some other third-party tools, we provide capabilities to integrate with them as well.
Anyone else, guys?
So what? Hello. So I'm saying that, let's suppose what are the messaging you are showing here. So if I wanted to customize those messaging, so will I be able to customize at the back end, or is that something like we cannot do that?
Oh, okay.
Because sometimes you want to more personalize that welcome to our shop, and let's just very different customized one. So can we do that?
Yes, definitely. So you can actually customize the messages based on user's context, like we discussed. So I can remember user's context, I can remember his preferences and answer accordingly. I can also customize the personality of the bot. In case the user comes in, he is kind of a millennial, I would want to talk to him in kind of a message which has a lot of emojis, for instance. But if a senior citizen comes in, I just want to be very formal, very professional. You can do all of those things. You can have channel-specific responses. On Facebook, it will use Facebook's typical native UI, but on SMS, you have to be pure text. It can do all of that. You can also have multiple responses to the same answer in the same way, where the platform will automatically generate a random number and then pick up one of them and then respond. Will provide more richness to your chatbot. And all of this is configuration driven. You're not really coding to do any of these.
Thank you. In the interest of time, I would recommend that if you have any further question, Ayush will be at Ranosys booth. Please drop by and have any questions answered by Ayush.
Yeah, definitely.
If you have anything. Thank you.
Thank you.